Good morning. Welcome to Sales Chatter, the logistics podcast, where we aim to help 10,000 reps hit a million GP. I'm your co-host, Ryan Mohammed, aka the Logistics Monk. Happy Eid to everybody who's celebrating today. You know, it's been a long 40 days for all our Muslim brothers and sisters, so we're excited to have a lot of fun treats today and want to welcome my amazing co-host with me, Dan Deegan, my man with the Sales Hacker t-shirt and the Bodacious Cowboy. What's going on, gents?
Not much, brother. How you doing, man?
Oh, man, I'm excited, man. It's Friday. We got some nice weather. Jeff looks like he's just finished a workout, lifting up his 50-pound dumbbells. I love that new shirt, brother. How's it going with you?
Hey, man, it's Friday. It's Funday Friday. I got nothing to say except let's get into our show, man, and let it happen. Ad hoc day, right? Let's go.
To the HPLS podcast. Live, relevant, and high performance information, conversations, and education weekly.
There we go, and just so excited. It's weather is turning out to be really nice. Jess, let's get started right away. Dan, this is your first Fun Day Friday, so we're excited for you to kind of join in on the fun. Sometimes we got some lays, going around. We got some Hawaiian. You talked a bunch about the tiki bar yesterday, you both. So kind of aim to do on a little bit of Friday. So, gents, let's get into it. Let's have some fun.
So what are you gonna eat today, brother?
Oh, we're. What am I not gonna eat? My friends, I have a lot of family who actually celebrate Eid, so a lot of cultural foods. But you got to get into maybe some pineapple, some watermelon. Get into that, summer fun day. But with you both, what do you guys always look forward to the most in the summer?
The sun. No, seriously. I don't know, barbecuing for sure, man. I'm like that type of guy that barbecues throughout the year anyway. I mean, if in the middle of a snowstorm, I'm out there, man. I'm grilling, but there's nothing like, I don't know, beers and a good barbecue over the summer. I try to barbecue every single night. I don't know about you guys, but, as soon as spring comes, I'm out there, I'm grilling almost every day.
There's something to be said about grilled food. It just makes everything taste so much better. Barbecue is definitely a big one. I enjoy sitting out and just kind of feeling the sun on your skin as much as, I love it in winter too. Don't get me wrong. You're out in the middle of a snowmobile trail, or you're out in the middle of God's country and the sun's still there, but to have it on, like, not just your face, the rest of your body is just, it feels spectacular. Being able to drive with windows open for me is another huge one, where you don't feel confined in that cabin and just breathing the air. It's like but Ryan and I were driving the other day, and the cows are out up by my area. The old manure's out, so it's sometimes you roll up those windows and you got everything off, roll them up.
Well, funny you say that, Dad. I want to ask you both this. So, are you guys? I don't want to say allowed, because it's like you shouldn't be allowed to do anything. But like, my wife hates when I put the roof down. I can never have the roof down. So anytime I got to dry, because she's like, "Oh, my hair, it's gonna go all over the place." Is it the same with you guys? Like, only roof down when you guys are only driving?
Oh, man.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, for me, my wife hates that. I used to have a convertible way back in the day, and I had to get rid of it, So I have a sunroof. You think she'd allow me to, open that baby up? Hell no. It's just like, come on, So when she's not in the car, windows down, sunroof open, I'm ready to go. There's nothing like that wind blowing through your hair, man, and just that fresh air. I don't know, Dan. What about you, buddy?
Well, brother, look, it takes a lot to mess it up. You know what I'm saying? So it's like for me, it's, I'm late all the time trying to get my hair right. So I'm all about and also I can't seem to go anywhere these days without bringing the dogs. So they have the back windows open in the truck, and they just kind of both stick their heads out the truck. So you got to have the front window open, or else that that I don't even.
Yeah, especially on the highway. I hate that sound.
Window open, because you get that reverb.
Yeah.
Ears.
Yeah, and it never used to bother me until I went through what I went through. And I don't know what it is. Like I guess my ears maybe are more sensitive or something.
humming
But
noise.
yeah, Brandy, speaking of keeping your sunroof open all the time, I've left my sunroof open and it's rained overnight, and I've had like the entire cup holder filled with water. And the other
Yeah.
day we had like a sleet, snow, rain, and it was like 26 degrees the day before. You remember that last week, Ryan? It was like
Yep.
26, 27 degrees. I had all the windows down in the truck, the sunroof wide open. And just before I came in, I'm like, I should probably close it. And I just went out and closed it. And then as soon as the sleet and snow and all the disgusting stuff started hitting, I was, you ever do one of those? You're like, did I leave because the last time you were,
Oh,
yeah.
all the time, bro. You know how many times, and mind you, we're all men here, and we got a lot of females watching today. I think they can attest to it. Is the amount of times that I have to come back inside the house to check if like the her hair straightener is off, the iron is off, like everything like that. Shout out to the women out here and as well from that. It's just I feel that's a part of the duties, like when they read us our vows and they say certain things in languages that aren't English. That's exactly what they're saying. Like thou will go and take off the ironing and the curling iron and all that stuff. So it's
there's a lot of fine print. Let's put it that way. There's a lot of there's a lot of fine print, and there's a lot of print that nobody really even says until you get into it. Right. So
yeah, as Brandy kind of says, rookie move here, man. Rookie move. But that's our homies Stella and Stanley.
That's the doggy, Stanley and Stella.
Yeah, that's our definitely from there. Yeah, Jeff, you kind of mentioned like you really really like barbecuing. One thing that I've started barbecuing quite a bit. I like to barbecue a lot. I think that's really really cool to do. It's a lot of fun to do, especially when you open out your back deck and your barbecue's right there, so you don't have to literally leave your kitchen. Do you grill vegetables? Like I've been grilling a lot of bok choy and a lot of things. What do you grill?
Oh, definitely. Everything. I love grilling corn in the shuck. It was a nice proper way you're doing that with the aluminum foil. I try to do the all different types of onions and peppers. Make your own sauce out on the grill. The Barbie shrimp. Chicken. Steak is a must. Just anything. I like to try new things. I don't know about you guys, but at least a couple times a year, I might come across
sushi,
and I'm like, yeah, man, this looks too damn good not to do. How about you?
Yeah, I think that's.
We got a new barbecue last year, and I finally got one with a pizza oven.
Ooh, you got it. Just don't burn the pizza though. You don't burn the pizza,
brother. I am telling you, this. So it's got the grill, and on the side of it, it's got a removable pizza oven because you can have like a skillet that's over like 2.5 feet long, or a pizza oven. And so the skillet for breakfast in the morning is the best because it's the sunshine, it's everything, and then it's that. But the pizza, oh my gosh, it is so good when you can actually get the pizza off of the slidey thing. Otherwise, it's a mess. Like I had a whole pizza like curl and go into the back. And
the dogs are like, yes.
Fire. The dogs are like, yeah, man, let's do it. Oh, yeah.
Let that shit fall down. Let that shit fall down.
My dog sits right next to me when I'm grilling. He's just waiting for the stuff to hit the ground, man. He's just sitting there, and he gives you those sorry puppy eyes. It's just like, come on, and it's just like.
Then you finish grilling and you go back like 2 hours later and you see the little tongue prints on the grill.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. I see the paw prints. I see the paw prints on them. Let's check them after. All right, boys. I got a question for you both, man, and everybody in the crowd. Like, if you're here new to Funday Fridays, we ask questions that don't have to do with logistics. We want to get to know people as people. That's why we work here. And as well, we want to hear about you guys. So, Dan, I'll ask you this first, and Jeff, would love to get your answer as well. I know we're months away, gents, but. What is your favorite holiday movie, and what does that say about you?
You're talking like Christmas holiday, right?
Anything, whatever comes to mind, my man. For me, I think Christmas, because we don't usually watch movies like certain themes and stuff like that. But yeah, let's go with holiday Christmas time. And make sure what it says about
Elf, but I thought they just overplay it all the time at Christmas, so it kind of lost its flavor for me a couple of years ago. Jeez, favorite Christmas movie.
And what does it say about you? That's the one. I think that's the best important one too. Jeff, if you want to go, buddy.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I would say
if you
Christmas.
know, Jeff, I have no
Oh
idea.
yeah, I would say Christmas Story because that was pretty much me. You know, I did all that stupid ass stuff when I was a kid. You know, what would happen if you took your tongue and put it on an ice cold thing? You know, it's just like screw it, try it. You know, or get another kids to go and do that. You know, snowball fights. You know, I never shot my eye out with a BB gun. That's one thing I never
Yeah.
did. But you know, just all that kind of stuff. It was funny, you know. You always wanted to get that kind of present, so you went and saw Santa Claus. No, I never got kicked down a freaking chute, but no, I mean, it just like brings back those memories of just fun stuff when you're a kid and you can't wait to open up those presents. You know, it's just, it's relatable.
I like that. I like that.
Mm, it's a good
Dano?
one. Gosh.
Well, I'll go with mine while Dan's kind of going with his. I've got to say my favorite one, and what does it say about me? I got to say the OG Home Alones. And the reason why I got to say the OG Home Alones is that it was big culturally for my parents because like that was like one of the first Christmas movies that they saw in Canada when they immigrated here in 1988. So I just remember that time of like all of us watching Home Alone together and my parents like dying of laughter when poor Marv gets like a brick in the head or like he falls down the stairs or something like that. So definitely Home Alone for me. So I think
I
maybe
thought you
what
were
is
going to
this?
say you were left home alone. I honestly thought you were going to say my parents left me, and
I
it
would
kind of
love to,
reminded me
man.
of
That would have been, you know, I wish, I wish I had that experience.
because they were pretty cool. And there's a lot of National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation going on there. Cousin Eddie, he was a classic. When he's emptying the shitter into the sewer, that was a classic. Gosh, I don't know. I don't know if I have a.
Okay, well, we can always move on to the next one. You know, as we
I would
got
probably say Elf because it's just been one that I've always watched. I mean, it kind of lost its influence or lost its. I've been a Will Ferrell fan for a while,
Mhm.
and it was that never grow up kind of feeling that it gave me. You know, no matter how old you get, you can always have fun. You can always be that kid inside. My wife often says she has 3 kids. Um, you know, my daughter, my son, and myself. And that's one thing I never want to lose in my life is being a kid. I love
Mm,
doing that kind of stuff, right? Like almost that never
mhm.
take yourself too seriously kind of style.
I like that. I like that to kind of balance that. So we'll move on to the next one, my friends.
Yeah.
Let's go with this one. If you could be remembered for one thing, just one thing only, what would it be? And I'll start off. I think Jeff's had to hit it off last time, so I'll start with you, Dano.
One thing and one thing only. Yeah, I hear serious Jeopardy music in my ears, but
You can always put on the
there you go. We got a little
yeah.
background music. There we
There we
go.
go. There we
Yeah,
go. We
you're
got
already grooving there, Ryan. I would say integrity.
okay. And what does that look like to you when you say that word? What does that look like? What is it?
Just never, like living what we preach, and living. You want to live to the fullest. Live to the fullest. You want to live your life with integrity. You want to live your life with honesty, no matter what. And it's yeah. I'm gonna say integrity and honesty and integrity because I think they go hand in hand, really. But
Okay, honesty, integrity. Cowboy. What do you want
Yeah.
to be remembered as?
It's a difficult question, but if I was going to put it into terms, I would say a guy that said what he was going to do and did it with no regrets. Being that, I don't want to go through life saying, but only if I should have, could, I would have tried it. If it's 50-50, I'm going for it, man. I want to have that feeling. A guy that took chances, gave a lot, that kind of stuff. We only have one life, so what do you want to do with it? That's the biggest questions that you think. Why lose out? You can't do everything. So, but the biggest things in your life that you feel confident in, just go for it, man. Do it. No regrets.
That's one thing. I like that. So no regrets. So we got integrity for Dano, integrity and honesty for Jeff. The fun thing, Dano, about Fridays is that Jeff can never answer a question straight. So he always has these multiple.
Notice he's
This
very
is what
much
I
a
love.
politician on
Yeah,
Friday.
yeah, he's a politician on Fridays. For me, I think there's a reoccurring theme that that people kind of say about me, and is personable. Ryan's easy to talk to, and he's able to connect with people. So I would definitely say the ability to continue to be personable, leave an impression on somebody, leave a memory or something like that. So as well in the audience, I'd love to hear about.
Somebody said you have great hair.
Well, that's a given, man. If you,
Yeah.
I wish you guys could meet my dad. You guys, my dad laps you, Dano, with like the hair and stuff like that. So he's crushing it, man. He's crushing it at 55. So,
Good for him.
good hair and good looks. It's just in our genes.
There you go, brother. There you go. Yeah.
All right, Jets.
My daughter says when my hair gets back to my ear, I have to shave it.
Ooh, only if she does it. Maybe we should do like a live stream of her actually doing it. Like
Yeah, you
she
got a
would.
reverse Mohican. Everything in the middle goes, man.
Yeah. Brother, you know what? Thanks to Ryan. It's my wife's birthday today, so I got her
Happy birthday to her.
the Dyson wand, and I used it yesterday, and I swear it thinned my hair, and because it like everything was just like fluffy, and I'm looking and I'm like, oh my god, I could see my scalp everywhere. Like I go, is my hair really that bad? She's like, yeah.
Didn't want to say anything, wanted to kind of keep the confidence
It
going.
wasn't the radiation, honey. It wasn't the radiation.
But that's awesome. Shout out to the Dyson Airwrap. That is an amazing tool if you're looking for a gift for somebody and looking to make someone's day. Definitely is a little bit pricey, but it's definitely worth it. Gents, let's see. Oh, this is a good one. When did both of you start learning about your craft?
8 years in.
8 years in as a sales professional.
8 years in as a sales professional.
What
I
did that
knew
look
from
like?
the beginning I had to, because I'm a grade 9 dropout.
Mm-hmm.
And I lived life by the philosophy of, you're never going to get anywhere unless you had an education. That's kind of the era I grew up in, right? But I kind of just faked it till I made it for the first 7 years of my logistics career, and I was like skyrocketing, winning competitions, and then I dropped right off, and then I'd skyrocket. It was a major roller coaster the first 7 years of my career, and after 7 years, I realized that if this is going to be my career, because I know nothing else, like I've literally had 3 jobs in my life: construction, buffing pewter keychains on night shift, and logistics. And I obviously didn't want to do construction and buffing pewter keychains for the rest of my life.
What?
Yeah, I know. Who wants to stand in front of this thing and then your fingers get caught in the thing? And it was then that I learned, okay, like I got to go all in on this, understanding humans, the way the brain works, buying patterns, like all the hot words that sales gurus talk about. And that's when I started really studying sales as a general, really started testing sales, and really started to hone my craft.
There we go. And to answer Lisa's question, yes. When you start to learn not learn specifically, but when did that light bulb switch that, okay, this is going to be my career? Jeff, let's hear you, cowboy.
Yeah. I would have to say probably maybe 6 years in, because I was all over the place. I had a roofing company. I got rid of it. I didn't know what to do, so I needed a job. So I started working in a warehouse and had no intentions on doing anything. And then things just fell into place. And then one thing led to another. And I was like, someone opened the door for me, believed in me, and said, do it. And it was at that time, probably 5 to 6 years. And everything else is history. It was just that he taught me to learn as much as you possibly can about everything within the industry, and know a little bit about it. Don't be SME in one specific spot. Just learned it all. And that took a lot of learning. And I'm still learning today, man. Every day you got to learn this thing because it's just so challenging.
Is that when you were a traffic manager, Jeff, or when you were actually in sales?
I was never in sales. That was the whole thing. The first time I got into sales was in 2019. But before then, I was managing those logistics operations, but I was also working in it, not as a manager, and trying to outwork everybody else that was in there to get noticed. But I wasn't trying. That was just me. That was in my DNA, just I wanted to get the hell out of there. So I figured if I worked fast enough, the day would go by quicker. And it just helped me launch into something, into the unknown at that time. I didn't know it was going to end up in here, and it just manifested itself. I'm glad it did. It was awesome. Awesome ride, but you never know.
Yeah, you really never know. That's awesome. I love that you said that, especially with Dan, what you're saying, it took you 7 years to get there. So it's really cool to think about that. For me, guys, I take it way back further. I take it back to my first job ever, which was McDonald's. Bright high school kid, 15 years old, and everything that I've learned at McDonald's, customer service, how to run a team. I was the youngest manager. I don't know if it's ever been trumped yet, but I was the youngest manager. I was too young that I couldn't open or close the store by myself. So I always had to have an adult with me over 18 to close it. But I was actually a manager within 6 months of being there. And that's honestly, they teach you, you work hard. If you got time to lean, you got time to clean, so I just took that work, that was something that was like really important for me.
Hold on, I gotta write that down.
Yeah, exactly. It'll be like your new cleaning thing for the weekend. But just the transferable skills. I think everything that I do, this podcast, my logistics career, my music, all that stuff, is all customer service. Being able to talk to people, even people coming and complaining, oh, you didn't put cheese on my Big Mac, and de-escalating something like that. People get really mad about their food, man. That's the one thing you don't want to screw up, or you forget their fries or something like that. So I think it's just really important to just continue to have those customer service skills, talk to new people too. That's the one thing I really liked about McDonald's was it wasn't my inner circle. Like, so many of us, we can talk to the same people all the time. So we only have one opinion, or people won't tell us or tell us BS, whatever. But when you got people from all walks of life who have nothing to shelter you from, that's where you start learning, my man.
Mm-hmm.
I heard McDonald's is an incredible training program.
Best. McUniversity is a thing. I'm being dead serious. They sent me away for 2 weeks to McUniversity, and I learned so much. And like the way that it's set up is that it's not like corporate in terms of like you got your managers there. They want you to take their job. So they will train you everything because they move up, you move up, right? It's like a lift as you climb kind of thing. It's not like, ooh, this guy's coming out for my job and whatever. It's just like there's just so many opportunities everywhere. So yeah, you're right, Dan. It's one of the best out there. I think everybody getting the first job should be in fast food. You kind of learn to think on the spot rather than, hey, work in a restaurant, or not to knock those places. I haven't worked in a grocery or anything like that, but definitely that is it.
I used to work in restaurants, like as a busboy and a bartender and stuff. But you're right that people get really, really angry about their food when it's messed up. And really angry. Like I've watched people come stomping back in as I'm in line, like just losing it because they got a double cheeseburger instead of a regular cheeseburger or something. And you're right. It's yeah,
it is definitely a challenge.
I've been angry leaving a drive-through when they made my coffee wrong and stuff or something. Yeah. It's crazy. But yeah, great one.
Yep. So I'm gonna ask you guys. Let's see this one here. I want to get in a little bit deep here. Actually, you know what? Here's what. This one's off the cuff. I'm not reading from anything here. Let's talk about. So, Dan, this will be about Jeff, and Jeff, this will be about Dan, and then I'll talk about either one of you guys. What were your guys' first impressions of each other?
Jeff sent me a message, a DM on LinkedIn. And I had been recording a lot of training videos in my car. And in one of them, I was a snowstorm and I'm kind of changing lanes, and behind me, cars are spinning out and doing all this stuff. And I got a message from Jeff. He says, hey, listen, great training videos. I'm just wondering if the message you're delivering is being taken a different way, because driving and doing these things is dangerous. And I'm just wondering if you're giving the wrong vision, the wrong perspective to your audience. And I never thought of it like that, right? I was thinking of it as, I'm driving, I may as well be productive while I drive, never really thinking. But Jeff's looking at it from the other side, saying you're distracted driving and things can happen, and and so I sent him back a message saying, thank you, I really like, it wasn't sarcastic, it wasn't belligerent, it was honestly coming from a place of integrity, of saying, like the last thing you want is somebody to say, what are you doing? You're dangerous driving when you're teaching me. So it was honestly, I believe it came from the heart. And that's where Jeff and I started our friendship, because we went back and forth on that. And Jeff's always been that. He's always been the guy where I say, hey, Jeff, what are you thinking? Nah, I don't know, Dan. And it's never, he didn't do his politician style like he did today. He was like straightforward
Fridays
when it was just, like, I just don't think it's the right message you want to send to your audience. And I thought that was so real. And just, you typically won't see that from very many people these days. And that's when our relationship took off. So it was that no matter what, I didn't know him from a hole in the wall. Like, we had never even, I think we just connected because it was like one of these, accept, but we never communicated, never anything. Mm-hmm. And he came right out. And I couldn't imagine what was going through his mind to say, okay, how am I going to write this so this kid doesn't think, go screw yourself. Who the hell do you think you are? You know what I mean? Like it was, and honestly, it was a message that truly touched me, that this guy cared about the perception, the all around perception to my audience, not just a singular, because 10,000 people might have watched it and never thought this is dangerous driving, but that one that would have, then there's this huge blow up, right? So I appreciated that very much from him when I first met him.
Yeah.
To answer the question?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
And I was going to use that same example, Dan, because, from the inception of the show, loyal watcher, watching it, and that's how we became friends. And it was just that approach where it was like, man, you're driving down the road. I'm saying, this dude is reckless. I mean, I really said that. And I go, I don't think he really realizes, and he can't see what I see because he is doing his podcast from the car, and I'm seeing through the back window, and I'm like, holy, and we're seeing these cars like going all over the place. And I was like, I think I said to Dan, I said, you got a family? You got any kids? Are they important to you? Pretty much, do you value your life? Because Dan has always been that focused guy that, once he's set on goals and objectives, and I know this as a fact, there's nothing that's going to stop him in his way. And he just concentrates on the moment, what's happening there. Everything else around him is blank. It's not present. And I think that's what happened when he lost that. He didn't lose it, but he lost that perspective to surroundings because he was so focused on his message. And I just felt it was the right thing to do, and tell him how I felt, not as a friend, just as part of the audience. Hey, take this under consideration. I didn't blast it out there. I didn't put him under a bus. I sent him a message, and next thing you know, one thing led to another, and Dan and I have been friends ever since. But I mean, I think that,
So no sales chatter in a car episodes ever coming up, like those karaoke, carpool
and
karaoke.
the thing is, it wasn't even sales chatter. It was just a training video.
See,
I was on my way to a meeting in London, Ontario, and it was a snowstorm. And I was like, oh, I may as well record a couple of training videos on the way, because it's well, Ryan, you've done that drive. It's so boring.
Yeah. I try to avoid it as much as I can.
Coming from Quebec, like, winter driving to me is no big deal.
Right.
Like, I just, obviously you don't go too fast. You don't try and do stupid moves. You drive if somebody's on your ass and trying to tail you, will you get over when it's safe? You don't get over because, oh my God, I'm going to be like, there's just different ways of thinking when we're driving in snow. So it's never bothered me. And I had a 3-hour drive, and in that traffic, it was probably more like 4 or 5. I'm like, hey man, I might as well get some stuff done. And I just happened to post it, and Jeff just replied. And I appreciate it. One thing I did tell him on my reply messages, I said, you know what? I appreciate that, because we all know we've posted something, and not, I think LinkedIn is the least, but on like Facebook or anything like that, like you have all the trolls that come out and just like, oh my God, da, 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 you know, and Jeff just sent me a DM.
Yeah, there's a way to come at it,
he,
right?
yeah.
There's a way to
and I
come
think
through
even
it.
in his DM, he said like, I'm not going to blast you out on as a comment. I figured I'd send you a DM, and I respected that.
There we go. So the respect
And
was
then I think
from
from that point forward, I tagged him on every post.
just to keep you, make sure that you weren't on you weren't on the road. Yeah,
Is there any traffic behind me?
yeah, exactly. It's a green screen. You should do that for a joke. Put a green screen as like the highway 401, you know, something like that. So, all right, gents, we're coming up to time, so I'm gonna ask you guys one last question. Pretty cool.
Well, hold on. What about you?
Yeah. What about you?
Yeah, so I'll do it for quickly for both of you, because it's pretty like I think first impressions are always the most. I'll start with Dan because I know him the longest. Met you at sales training with my company. I thought, in one sentence, I would say it was something that I needed. I just started off with that company. It's just funny how, like, I believe that there's no coincidences in life. I feel like if I am where I'm at right now in my life, if I was with that company, like at this tenure, I probably wouldn't have taken on to the message. So for me to kind of be an open sponge and be like, okay, well, I'm building a book of business right now. Like I wasn't bringing in business for my last company. I made a point because I didn't want to break the non-compete, non-solicit, all that stuff. So I really took that in, and Dan was just so open. And I'm the one thing the first impression I remember was on the break, just grabbing a muffin and literally going up to Dan and be like, "Man, you're awesome, man. I really appreciate and resonate with everything you said." Jeff, I think one of the biggest things when I first came across you, I think I saw you. It was like Blindside Alley, which was one of your the first podcast back in the day, and I thought, wow, this guy's like really knowledgeable. You know, this is somebody that it's kind of cool because both of my first impressions of both of you guys and getting to know you guys as friends, as brothers, as colleagues of mine, what I think of you guys now trumps my first impressions. You guys mean more to me than anything. So I just want to thank you both for your friendship and your guidance and all that stuff. So not to get sappy, let's switch it up a little bit for our last question here. But I am grateful for both of you. You guys are awesome.
You too.
So, Mike. Gents, last question as we're going to go. Ooh, this one's a really, really cool one. I like this one. If you had the attention of the whole world for 5 minutes, what would you say?
Let's start with you, Ryan. What would you say?
Ooh, I like that one.
I know, right? You just switch up into that. I would go big into animal advocacy. I would talk about not just dogs and cats and stuff like that. I'd be talking about really watch what's going on around the world. Like dogs are just getting hit by cars and people just not caring anymore. I would really talk about that. I would really talk about dog rescue, and like my aim for that 5 minutes would be, let's get every dog a home, man. Every cat a home, every hamster a home, and treat wildlife amazing, because everyone's always like, oh my God, a fox is here, a coyote is here. But we don't pay attention to the fact that we cut down all their trees. We got rid of their habitat and their ecosystem. This is their home. And the same thing, obviously, with natives and aboriginals and things like that, just respect for one another, just not for humankind, just for everybody, and kind of be there. So that would be my 5-minute topic, gents.
Nice. That's a good one.
Yeah. Mine would be that I think that there has to be more respect in the world. It's not he, she, but it's about human beings and interacting with each other with respect and respecting people the way you want to be respected. I think there's a huge lack of that in the world. You see it, you read it. I think that people should be more helpful and giving than taking. I think we see that way too much, and that's what I would probably talk about for sure.
That's a good one. I would say, and not to sound Pollyanna or cliche, but live your life to the fullest every moment. After almost dying twice over the last year, it's given me a new lease on life. And I think we when we have family members die and stuff, we have that rejuvenation or something like that happens in us. I'm like, great, from now on we're doing it. But you know what? Take that vacation.
Yep.
Tell that person you love them. Express gratitude for it. Take that chance. If there's an inkling in you that says, I wonder if, just do it. Because and again, not to sound, but life is so short, and your life can change in an instant. Like it's crazy. And I know most teenagers, right? When we were teenagers, we were freaking bulletproof, Jen.
Oh.
Right? You all got to admit that. Like, we never thought
Immortal.
Of what ifs, like immortal.
Yep.
And as you grow in life, you realize everything you have can just be taken away in the split second. And don't live in fear. Don't get me wrong, but
No.
Don't ever stop pursuing that dream. If you have that dream, like you talked to Ryan, he's in logistics, but his dream is an animal sanctuary, a dog sanctuary. So every day, that drive, whatever the medium is to get him there, the end result is that sanctuary. And live that, like, live a dream. If you don't have a dream, find one. Find something that inspires you, because life is just so much better. And just tell the people you love that you love them.
Be you. Just be you.
I love the fact that none of you guys took the opportunity to be like, I'm going to troll the world. You got 5 minutes with the whole world that they're listening, like start talking about like China and Russia and like start World War III, start saying some nuclear codes or something like that. But I like that you guys took the right way about it. So that was cool. I really enjoyed that. I learned a lot about you, both, especially with that question. I thought that was really cool to hear from both of you. Gents, it's been a great week. It's another week of Sales Chatter. It's happy. Like, yesterday we had everybody back here, and we're talking about, hey, what we're looking at. And, the one thing to our viewers, we can't thank you guys enough. And, we've had Stacy here, who's helped out with like the women in trucking, giving like free memberships. Jeff has been a part of that. Lisa's been a part of that. And, it's about giving and helping other people. So that's more of what you're going to get on the show. You're going to get actionable things. I didn't mention this on the show yesterday, but I had an aha moment during the show, and I'll share that with you guys before we close off here. Anthony, who is a seasoned watcher of this show and everything education-wise for logistics, he's always on other shows and trying to gain knowledge. And he said something in the comments, Dan. He said he took your two-prong question that you mentioned earlier in the week, and he applied it, and it helped him. And when I say at the beginning that our mission is to help 10,000 reps hit 1 million GP, this is what we live for. This is what gives us the happiness that we are on the right path. So with the audience, we want to thank you guys so much for being with us. We're here for the entertainment, as Fridays where we didn't talk too much logistics, but we're here to help you guys, and we learn from you guys as well. So from all three of us, we're just so thankful for everybody spending the time with us. It's truly grateful. So if you did find value in this, please like, comment, share, subscribe, friend, neighbor, colleague, spouse, Amazon driver that's coming today with your packages. We'll hit the replay back in 2 and 6 p.m. Eastern time, LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. Monday, we're back at it again with just another jam-packed week of just giving you guys advice and knowledge. Dan, what's let the audience know a little your final thoughts here.
I love the Amazon driver, because y'all know all y'all are getting packages delivered today. That's for sure. So yeah, definitely.
I actually do too. I literally do. I'm waiting for my USB.
I know you do, Brian. I think it's a daily occurrence with you now. We talk about it. I love the fact that you brought that up with Anthony yesterday. But just understand, anything that we talk about here, you can always relate back to your business. Right? Like, everything we talk about is 3-dimensional: personal life, professional life, and in for your customers. Right? So it's not just, it's a great thing for business. What about when you're meeting somebody, opening with a 2-pronged question to learn more about them? Right? So it's everything is transferable, and everything we talk about here is transferable. And I think that's a very big message for everybody to understand. Is like, go to wherever you get your podcast, go to Spotify, Apple, whatever. This is on there. Download it. Listen to it again when you're walking your dog or when you're out taking a hike. Because the thing is, when you hear it once, you kind of hear it. When you listen to it again, you hear something different. And as you grow, these podcasts will grow with you. And that's where the true growth happens. That's where real change occurs in your life. It's like, wow, I didn't even realize Ryan said that last time. I didn't realize Jeff said that last time. That makes sense. And it just keeps helping you. So make sure to subscribe and download them. For
It
sure.
is available, and it is available under, I believe, it's Sales Chatter Live, Den, on those.
Yeah, High Performance Logistics Sales Podcast.
Yeah.
We haven't changed. We're trying to figure out how to change the name without ruining all the stats and stuff. So, but it's HPLS Podcast, High Performance Logistics Sales Podcast. It's
We'll put a link. We'll put a link in the comments after this episode airs,
Yeah.
and so
Yeah.
it's amazing kind of see those things. Jeff, Cowboy, take us home with your final thoughts, and take us home, my man.
Yeah, great to be back. Was sick in the beginning of the week. Great to have Dan back on the show. Glad that you're feeling much better and you're at 100%, close to it. Great week. We have a good weekend coming up. It seems like we're gonna have some good weather. I hope everybody has a great weekend. Appreciate the audience following us and supporting us in everything that we do. Hopefully, a lot of it is relatable to what you do, how you do it, when you do it. That's our goal here on Sales Chatter, High Performance Logistics Sales. With that said, Audacious Cowboy out. Check us out next week at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Have a great weekend, guys. Take care.